Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to TGIF Talks, episode 101. New style today. I'm joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Yeah,
Roll the
I'm
intro.
here.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down to... they're not broken down to parts.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We're abandoning that style to try something new and different. It's kind of...
One whole part.
What?
One whole part.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to the way things used to be. Way back in the day. You know, the Dr. Sheep podcast days. And we're going to see how that goes. So this is Podcast 101. We were supposed to be joined by Will and potentially his girlfriend. But,
That was yesterday.
yes, that was yesterday. But things happened and he couldn't come.
And now he can't go.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
Yes, something happens and you can't go. So I don't know. We'll have to see, because the next one is the weekend right before, it's the weekend right before the experiment. Yeah, so there's that.
So it may or may not happen again. Oh well.
Yeah. So what'd you do this weekend since we didn't hang out? Okay, excluding Friday night, but we'll talk about Friday night. Did you do anything fun Saturday or Sunday?
Friday? Oh no, not Friday. Saturday I hung out with friends.
I think I've
Um,
asked you before. Do you guys just go to the bars or what do you do?
no, we played board games or watch a movie.
Oh, what movie did you watch?
We didn't watch a movie. We played a board game.
Oh, what board game do you?
I don't recall the name of the board game.
Oh, you don't remember?
No, it's the first time playing it.
Ah, fair enough. I guess it's probably not also the focal point, but
Yeah,
kind
someone
of crap.
because it was first time playing this game. It was a game about just trying to. It was like a board game where you try to build your own zoo, and you get points along the way, and basically whoever gets the most points wins, so to speak. There's no way to determine at what point you win. But I don't want to get into details.
I mean, it sounds like a bunch of those newer board games.
It took like an hour and a half to go through all the rules.
An hour and a half to go. Good God!
Well, maybe an hour. I mean, we're kind of joking around along the way, but yeah, it's no Monopoly. There's a lot of nuances and steps and things.
I mean,
Yeah, overall, it was a pretty fun game though.
I mean,
So we started the game at 8 because I headed over there at like 6:30, 6 o'clock. And then it was like 7:30, when we got done going over the rules, and we went to go grab a bite to eat. And then when we got back, we started playing. And I think it was like 8 o'clock when we started. And we got done at 1:30 in the morning. So that was 5.5 hours? Ish.
it's a good amount of time.
Yeah. Usually the games we play take a long time. And the games I'd say a shorter game is like 2 hours. And those type of games we play multiple rounds. So it takes about the same length. The longest game we've played. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Twilight Imperium. That is a 12-hour game.
What? 12?
Every bit of yeah. We start that game 10 to 12.
So what's
I think so. So the more people you have, the longer it'll take. So it gets a. We played with 4 people and we played with 6. So the time we played with 6, it was like 12 hours, and we played with just 4 of us, and that was about 10 hours. Just because each person has to make their turn or whatever. We started. Usually we start that game at like 1, 2 in the afternoon, and if we're lucky, we'll be done by midnight.
See, I wish I had. Well, see, my issue with my friend groups is they're all kind of. Well, my friend group from college, they're scattered. They're to the winds. They've. I think now, as with more of them graduating, their schedules are becoming more consistent. But they're still very busy, scattered to the winds. Doing these weekly, like, board game nights pretty much it's just impossible, it seems like. And, for our group, you've got you and I, Kyle, who is never available. Maybe in freaking 5 years from now he'll be available, it seems.
I predict 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. But no,
maybe 2.
What about that gap?
Well, because I'll finish up this year, right? And then he'll take a year off.
That's 2.
And then he said he can get his degree in a year, maybe 2. So 3 to 4. He said he can get his English major in a year or 2 because he'll graduate with a minor.
You're going to be
graduate with a minor, and so he thinks he can turn that into a major and be done. He has not talked. Although the thing is, he has not talked to his advisor, so he really has no clue. He says, "Yeah, it'll probably take like a year and a half," but he hasn't talked to his advisor, so he has no clue. How many of those credits he can double dip from his bachelor's. I don't know.
You're going to be 28 years old by the time the schmuck finishes. 28, 29. You're going to be almost 30 by the time that schmuck finishes what he's doing.
Yeah, and he'll be 25. What is he? And he'll be like almost 25. What's your point?
Well, we're so old by that point. It's like all the fun, lots of energy we have right now, gone.
What do you mean? I think I'll still be young and nimble then.
Oh, I've seen the 28-year-old that works at my work. He's not young and nimble. I mean, kind of, but not really.
You're comparing me to one person.
Compare you to all 28-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising. I've worked with a lot of people in their late 20s.
And what about say Usain Bolt, who kept running in the Olympics till he was 40?
Listen, I'm not saying you're gonna be. What's the word I'm looking? I don't even know how to compare to that. I don't even know how you compare somebody running the Olympics as a 40-year-old versus going out and drinking till 2 a.m. Every week.
I don't go out and drink till 2 a.m.
Well, okay, board games till 2 a.m. Whatever it is that people do.
Yeah, what's your point?
I just don't see in late 20s. Kyle's like, okay, I'm done with school now. Can we go do things? And we're like, no.
No, he'll have his own friend. He has his own friend group he'll be hanging out with.
What the hell? I have nobody.
Yeah, you really do. He has his own friend group he hangs out with on the weekends. Well, at least when he doesn't work.
When did I suddenly become alone?
Probably the moment you moved out of your only group of friends you have. Because you lived with them. You lived with the only 4 people that you are friends with, and then you moved out. And I think that's the point you became alone.
It wasn't my fault. I was forced.
No, I'm just saying. That's the moment you became alone.
Yeah, begin to realize that because Rooster's going to move to Iowa here soon. Not this year, but next year. Rhonda's going to be gone for 2 years in North Dakota. So then AK, I don't hang out with him that much anyways, but he'll be around for 2 years. He was somebody I hung out with the least, so, and then as for the other parts of the friend group, they're just busy, and there's no other guy.
Yeah, Outback went to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Outback went back home. He was in town this week, But like I called him Saturday, thinking like I didn't know he was in town. I called him, and I'm like, oh, too bad you're not in Lincoln today. You know, we're doing stuff with Thermite. He's like, well, funny thing, I am, and I'm like, what? But like, he was like, I can't come do the Thermite until 2, and I'm like, I'm gonna be done by 2, and I was done literally right at 2, and so I was like, well, whatever. I'm like, I don't work next weekend, so I don't have a half day where we could go do it during the week. Again, further
You
illuminating.
did today.
We'll get to that. We'll get to what happened today. I feel like when I'm talking about, you know, had a unexpected half day today, it feels like I got fired. But no. As far as I'm aware, I'm going back to work tomorrow. But like, I called my dad. I'm like, I got sent home early, and I'm like, I'm not fired. Here's what happened.
I don't think.
To everyone else in the world, it sounds like I got fired. I did not get fired. I just get future things.
Your boss is just tired of dealing with your. I don't want to say that word. Can we allow that word?
What word? Oh, no. I know what word
Why?
you're thinking of. No.
Oh, you know exactly what word I wanted to say. It'd be perfect.
Oh, yes, but no. Well, anyways.
All right, she was tired of dealing with your reign of caca.
What the What? A reign of what?
Yes.
Excuse me? Oh my god. Well, anyways.
I think that's perfect.
Well, I texted him today and he's
I'm
like...
going to use that instead.
Well, anyways, I text Outback today since I have my half day, and I'm like, hey, you want to do the...
You get fired, bro?
You want to do the copper oxide thermite? Because I got the copper oxide in the mail. And
Yeah.
he was like, well, it has to be tonight. And I'm like, well, I got the podcast at 6:30, so it's not... It didn't work again. So I'm not going to see him this entire trip that he's out and about.
Wait, he said he works?
No, he's just... So what happened Saturday
Did he
was
say
he was
six-
out with... I don't know what he was doing today. But Saturday,
said
he was out and
6:30.
about with Rooster and his girlfriend.
Uh,
He works for the Humane Society, and so he had to go feed horses and dogs and cats, I guess, or something like that.
mm.
And he wanted to go see. But I'm kind of upset he didn't tell me that he was in town. But, you know, here's what it is. Anyways, so, no,
So the whole... Coming back full circle, you have no friends.
yeah, so apparently, and I'm not really friends with anybody at work, so I don't know how this happened. I mean, now we do, and we've discussed it, but I don't know how to remedy that.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really have another friend group outside of my high school friends, high school/college friends.
I mean, you have us. You have me.
Yeah, but you're just like family.
You
You're
wouldn't
like-
trust me
You're like
if
a
we
forced friend.
had what
You're like a forced friend.
forced. Listen here, bud.
Yeah.
Had we met like Outback, I guarantee you we'd be friends.
Maybe.
Maybe. You realize how much crap we have in common?
I have my doubts.
Oh, your doubts.
I
Well,
have my doubts.
here's the thing, though. You know, we only argue because the only reason why we argue the way we do is because we've known each other for freaking 2 decades at this point, and that's just the
Not
way
long, huh?
we've been since. I'm 22 years old. You're gonna be 25 here in a month or so. So
Well,
it's been a long time.
oh yeah.
Time. And then there's your brother, who we've only known for 21 years, and it's been a wonderful
And
21
counting.
Huh?
And counting.
And counting. It's been a interesting 21 years. And then there's Will, who I've known for 16. You've known for like
2.
what? No, when did we? did we? When I was in high school, senior year, did we hang out with him at all, or is it only until?
No, I think you joked about him, about your indentured servant, but I mean, I don't think I met him until I don't know.
When did he start
Freshman
helping out with videos? Cause okay, so
Yeah, until you started doing that, and I didn't know him before that
so
because
okay,
that was the only reason why I would have met him.
yeah. So I'm trying to think, cause I know it wasn't so that summer of senior year we did not. You didn't. I know we didn't meet him because we stopped doing videos in June because I got my concussion. And
You said you'd known him for 16 years?
I've known him since he was conceived.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, county fair.
Oh. Well, I wonder if I've ever met him at County Fair. I just never
because-
thought anything of it.
No, you
What?
went to county. I think you were at county fair once with me.
No, I was there a couple years.
I remember. I don't even really remember. I
Well,
remember.
because grandma used to take me every summer,
Mm.
and I remember every summer, we always stop by her camper and say hi. And then I remember we went over to that sand pit to play.
Mm.
Or I take my little Tonka toys over and to that dirt patch inside the barn,
Oh yeah.
and push around dirt.
So
Just that shit.
yeah, it was dirt and.
That's basically all we did: push around dirt and yes.
Well, I'm trying to. I don't know because he was born in 07 or 06. 05, 06, somewhere in there. I'd have to do the actual math. I don't want to do the actual math.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there. I don't know. I think that was a. I don't know if he would have just been like some random kid, like some little baby there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm kind of curious. Like if you wind back the clock, it's like, that whiner over there. I'm eventually gonna have to be friends with him.
Who would have ever guessed the child sitting over there throwing crap, or the child that got lost in the cornfield? Who would you have ever guessed that you would have gone to the movies with them? You would have had to fend yourself off from him biting you, and that you would ridicule and have 2-hour-long conversations with on podcasts for the whole internet to see. No one would have ever guessed that in 2005, 2006,
Nope.
2007.
Well, freaking 2006, 2007, I didn't even know of YouTube.
Yeah, neither did I. I don't think I did. I didn't find out about YouTube.
I still remember the first YouTube video I ever looked up was in 7th grade, and it was the Gummy Bear song.
What year was
That
that?
was the first video I ever looked up on YouTube.
Wait, what year was that?
I don't know, when was 7th grade?
Oh, so I would have been. So if you were in 7th grade.
Oh, wait, here. So 2013, so 2012, I was a freshman, which means 2011, I was in 8th grade, or 2010. 2010.
I found out about YouTube. So I watched my first YouTube video before you did.
Very well possible. Well, I mean, yeah, because the video was shown in class.
Yeah,
And
so because
and I was like, and then I looked it up, but see, I didn't start really watching YouTube until my senior year, because see, that when I first watched YouTube, that Gummy Bear song or whatever, it would buffer. Like I could not watch that video all the way through. I had to watch it in short clips because that's just how slow the internet was.
I remember.
And so
those days.
it'd be in bits and pieces. And I was like, eh. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, I guess, in the stupid mind of a seventh grader, it's funny or whatever. But then you don't want to sit around waiting 5 minutes to watch a 1 minute video,
Right.
And so you quickly
Now you do that.
click out, and so I remember that was seventh grade, and I think I might have looked up a few songs that I heard. It's like, oh, what's that? I want to hear that. Like you hear clips of a song on the radio, and you want to hear the rest of it or something. I think I might have done that, here and there throughout high school and maybe 8th grade. But it wasn't until my senior year, specifically second semester, when I got an iPhone, that I think that was when I first started watching YouTube.
So
Just because I don't even remember how I looked it up one day. Like it might have just been like someone's like, hey, you have to go watch this video, and then after you watch that video, you have this recommendation tab, and it's like, I want to see this video. I want to see this video. It was the moment that they had the recommendation tab that absolutely destroyed me. It's like, oh, this looks interesting. This looks interesting. I want to see this,
Okay. So
the next thing you know, we're 2 hours down the rabbit hole, like, damn, I gotta get up for the day.
Oh my god, 2007. So I'm trying to remember. My first YouTube video I ever watched. So you watched that. So I would have been 5th grade. I absolutely beat you, because the first time I ever watched YouTube, the water bottle was over my place, and I'm pretty sure it was either 3rd or 4th grade. I can't remember. And we watched. We watched the Gummy Bear song, and this came out in October of 2007.
The Gummy Bear song?
Yeah.
It could have.
Well, no. The video came out, and I'm watching it right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying I watched it in 2010.
Yeah, I watched it before 2010. So, but we watched. Yeah. It must have been out for a year then, or something, or hell, we might have watched it like a week after it came out, because it was Columbus Day. Well, anyways, point is, we watched it. We watched Elmo's Got a Gun.
No.
Huh?
The name, that title.
It's a fantastic title.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I couldn't really watch YouTube. Because internet was so slow.
So it was 2008.
And so, wait, did you ever have a problem with internet access and videos, or did you just, suffer through it?
So it might have been 2008, 2009. Well, it had to been.
Sure.
Well, anyways, so yes, we have. So, the first videos we watched, I don't remember having issues. I just remember laughing my freaking butt off at Elmo's Got a Gun.
Yeah.
And it fantastic. Elmo shoots Barney. I remember laughing. But it was in 6th grade. It's when I first really started watching YouTube. And I watched the Magic School Bus. I watched basically like everything on YouTube. Magic School Bus. And
yeah. But you were able to watch it, without much buffering, or you just don't remember.
So I remember sometimes you could watch it, other times you couldn't. And what I had to do was hit pause, go do something for like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Put something, wait for it to load.
Come back and then watch it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember, I mean, you can still see it today on YouTube, but that gray bar
Actually, it doesn't render much for. So the interesting thing about that is it doesn't. So like gray bars, they don't. It doesn't go any further anymore. It doesn't like because like back then you could watch.
Well, yeah, it goes about the same. It goes about the same speed as the video. But like back in the day, I would always wait for that gray bar to reach the end of the video because even if it reached halfway and I started to play, it would catch up.
Yep, I remember that.
It would catch up. You literally had to wait for the gray bar to finish the video before you clicked play, or you would not be watching that video all the way through.
So yeah, I think.
And that basically was like internet. I don't know if it was mostly internet, but another part was our computer was fairly slow. Like I remember we got a computer I think in second grade. I remember I was typing a report in third grade, and the computer literally just froze, and I never saved. I had like I was third grader, so I was a fairly slow typer. I had like a full page, and the third grade, me that took hours, and I had like a full page and a half, and the computer just shut down.
No.
Lost everything. Now, thankfully, I think I wrote everything because I wanted to plan. I think my parents were like, plan it all out, and then go type it up. And so, I just had to retype it. But it's not like I lost any. It's not like I lost any of my ideas. It's just that I was a slow typer. I spent an hour or two on that.
It's so crazy thinking about the computer thing because here's the thing, right? We had a computer before you did then.
Yeah.
Because
probably.
I remember.
Well, we had. Well, no. I shouldn't say that. So we had my dad had a laptop through the school, but we did not. That was not the family computer. I mean, like I think I used it once in like first grade or something because I had to look something up for some assignment or whatever. But that was like once. We didn't get a family computer until I was like a second or third grader.
When did he get? Did he have his laptop then? But the entire time that you can remember.
Yeah, as far as I can remember. Well, because they always gave teachers computers.
Really?
That's how they entered assignments and grades. Well, actually, no, they used to have paper. Everything used to be done on pen and paper. But then I think they had to submit that on the computer. I don't remember. Honestly, I'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
But I do remember him actually writing grades on pen and paper. And he'd have a whole semester, like he'd have a whole chart.
Oh.
Everything was pen and paper. Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Everything was pen and paper.
That's when being a math teacher would suck because you hand out assignments every damn day. English teacher, not that big of a deal. Math teacher, that'd be such a pain in the butt because you enter in, you'd have to do it every damn day.
And the worst.
That's an incentive not to give out homework.
I don't remember. I think he used pencil because if you write a number wrong. And you try to correct that, and you can't read it. Yeah,
you're screwed.
So I'm pretty sure you used pencil. You could just erase the mistake. I don't remember.
I remember us always having a computer because I remember getting. Maybe I remember getting it for the first time, vaguely, possibly. Because I remember we got it, and they got me games, and we got Putt Travels Through Time, and some wizard game.
Oh, we had some Putt Golf game.
No, it wasn't Putt Golf. It was a car.
Oh.
And he had a bunch.
Oh yeah, and then I'd always play solitaire, and then pinball.
Oh yes, my brother showed me pinball, but my parents wanted.
No, those were the computer games were downloaded, and then. I think Mom got us a few computer games along the way. We had some Garfield game, and then Backyard Baseball. That was a lot of fun. I logged a lot of hours on that. Backyard Baseball 2005, I think, is what it was.
Well, see,
I got that for Christmas one year.
See, I didn't use the computer that much. We had it, but I didn't use it. But I remember.
Pretty sure it was 2005. So I was 8 years old.
Oh my god. So Putt was his car, and he had a bunch of items. He was gonna go show to his friend Doc, or whatever.
Oh, so he might have just got the computer then.
Huh?
I'm thinking. So if I remember right, well, maybe it's 2007. I can't remember exactly what year. It might have been 2007. I'm trying to remember what year Backyard Baseball, because I have the year printed on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah, what a time. Everything had freaking water.
Yeah, they had the year printed on it. It was. I remember it was in 3D too. Well, I guess the graphics were in 3D. It was kind of cool.
Well, they were all those kid games were kind of the same, because Backyard Baseball and Putt-Putt were kind of the
2007?
same. No, but back to this. So here's the whole premise of the game, and I didn't beat it until I was like freaking 12.
I think it's this one.
Huh?
I can't. What year did this come out?
Backyard Baseball.
Keep talking. No. Keep talking.
Well, anyways, so basically you had a bunch of items.
2005.
Every time I talk.
Sorry, I found it.
Okay. What year?
2005.
Oh, there you go. Well, anyways, so you start off with a bunch of items, and you go to visit your friend Doc or whatever. You're a talking car and you have a dog. Okay, and there were two possibilities of how the game could play out, and one of them you could beat, and I was able to beat it when I was young. But there was another one that there was a part of the levels that didn't work, but it mysteriously started working, like many years later when I tried to play it. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, you go and you try to show Doc your stuff, but Doc's building a time machine. And well, the time machine sucks all your stuff in, your dog, your lunchbox, all these things. And so basically, your whole thing is to then go get it. So you drive into the vortex, and you could go to the future, medieval times. You could go. There was an old Western one. And then there was the future, the medieval times, the Western, and dinosaurs. I want to say there was more, but I only remember those four. And there was the future one was there. Anyways, and so you'd basically solve puzzles, right? So you'd go through these levels, and there were mini games to play, but you'd go there and you'd be like, "Oh, I need this rock. I sought to fill in this gap so that I could go get this item that I knew was on the other side. Oh, I know where to go get this same shaped rock." And you'd go back to the time machine and go to a different spot. And you could ride on the back of a train, and you go out to literally the middle of the freaking desert. And this level always scared me because you could conceivably kind of get lost out in the desert because you could just drop. So you drive, and you could just keep taking paths, And if you gotta remember what path to take. I don't think there weren't that many. The options didn't keep going, so you couldn't get lost too difficult. But as a little kid, it felt like you got lost out there. But it was what a game! What a game! That game was fun. Yeah, and it was fun to solve, and then to beat it. That was always fun because then the time machine would get fixed. And anyways, no, but yeah, the computers back in the day. Yeah, I remember. Wow, God, I would have been like 3 or 4 when we first got it.
Yep.
And I don't know if they had a computer before then. I can't remember before then. I'd have to ask my brother. But I would assume that's the only reason why we had a computer was because my brother needed it for school, I would assume. I just remember. Oh, it would have been 2004, 2003. Yep, 2004, 2003. Because I remember in 3rd grade, I needed to work on a project. And I needed Microsoft Office Word. And we had Word 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft Office Word. Like, what? 2003? What? And the school had, 2007 or whatever. Or, yeah, 2007. And so, they just didn't they didn't match up. They just didn't match up. They just didn't have features, and you're like, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember getting my
I
first.
always remembered. I never liked going on the computer late at night because see the computer was in the basement.
Oh, your
And
basement was the worst at night.
and it was always, and see, the thing is, it was always so I was a kid. It was always so creepy being down there. There's cobwebs and bugs crawling around. It was just kind of creepy being down there. After the sun went down to finish up a paper, and yeah, I did not like it. I would always wake up early to write it during before school or something. Anything to avoid having to write it in the dark.
So, what's crazy is, I slept in your basement by myself before the Nevada trip. And as a kid, I could have never have done something like that.
No.
No,
Yeah,
I couldn't even be down there in the dark. It freaked me out.
I always hated whenever I had a homework assignment that I had to do on the computer. Well, I mean, even in college, or not college, in high school.
Yeah.
Because even in high school, when I had to, go down there for hours at a time, because it would get cold after a while. My hands would get cold.
Yeah.
Because it's just so cool down there, and my hands would get cold. It's like, man, I don't like being down there. I had to take breaks or whatever.
I remember seeing my first dual monitor. I was over at my friend Fro's house, and he had a dual
Oh yeah,
monitor.
that was like the coolest thing ever.
It was a dual CRT.
Really.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was these two CRTs next to each other. And, he would drag the cursor through it, and it would boop, pop out the other side, and I'm like, what? I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was awesome. I was just like, whoa.
What's crazy is our first computer was not a CRT. It was pretty thin.
Mine was a CRT. Our first monitor was a CRT.
Yeah.
It had burn-in. It had the desktop.
Our first TV was a CRT.
So
remember that big brown TV?
Yeah, we had a big brown TV too. Yeah. And then it eventually died, and we got remember the big gray one we had?
Yeah.
That thing was awesome though. That thing was an excellent TV. My dad got it for $5.
See, the thing with ours, our TV, what happened is everything turned green.
Really? No,
And
this
then I
one.
remember, the TV turned green, but every time it vibrate, it would go back to color. So I remember, my brother and I, we were watching SpongeBob or whatever, it's just the TV. Oh, damn it, the TV went green. We get up off the couch, start jumping on the friend, like, what the hell are you doing? I'm trying to get the TV turned back to the color.
Oh my
Because the
god.
audio would keep playing, but the TV would stay green. And the worst part about it is that we actually had a VCR recorder, so we could record shows.
Yeah.
And
Your mom would give me tapes and stuff.
so I remember we used to record Scooby Doo or something.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I want to see this. And the worst part about it is that whatever the TV showed, that's what it record. So if let's say if you're watching Dish, the show keeps playing in the background, but if the TV turned green, the VCR would record that green screen.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know how that works.
Well,
actually.
if
I'm
you
sure there's
turn the
some sort of
TV off,
pass-through.
and if you turn the TV off, it would record black. So it basically it would record the screen. It would not record the show. It recorded the screen.
That's whack. Oh, I'm sure my brother set that up for you guys. Actually,
The
no.
VCR recorder.
Actually, no. I bet your dad did. No, but I bet my brother set it
I mean,
up
it
for
was pretty
us.
self-explanatory. You just plug in a cable or two, and then pop the thing in.
Can you imagine?
I don't think we could erase though.
Well, you can write
don't
over
thi-
things.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I don't think we ever did.
Well, there was so I remember one of the discs. It had the start of the Scooby Doo aliens one, and it was like a decade later that they finally watched the whole thing, and the whole thing just goes off the rails. Like, it was always the startup, which is the best part of the movie because it's this awesome build up, and then it goes off the rails. But it always cut before that, and so I never knew how the movie would go, but I'd always just watch the beginning. And it always,
I really hope DVDs don't go. I know it'll probably happen, but the day DVDs go ancient, we'll lose access to our movie.
well, one day, I do plan. Someday I do plan to get a burner, and that will allow us to save the sword films.
Because I remember what I did was I saved it as a DVD format, but I wasn't even thinking, at the time, and because I used to actually have a .mov file, which is still a thing, and I could have, and I have converted because I think I remember I had some old projects I converted from MOV to MP4, to a flash drive. That way I could watch him on the Windows computer. And I remember I had a flash drive, like a 16 gigabyte flash drive with all the movies.
No, I thought you
But
still
thing
do.
was-
We just can't use them because
What?
we have no way of accessing MOV.
No. No, I don't have those. I don't have those files anymore. Well, those are the clips, the sword clips.
Yeah.
Those are not files for the movie. Those are like episodes that remember we tried to film.
Yeah.
The actual movie, though, that I used to have those files, and then I deleted it when I put everything on the DVD because I was like, "Oh, the DVD is compressed everything into an iDVD." I didn't realize it was an iDVD format, which I cannot, revert back to with the MOV. But I used to have those, and I was like, "Oh, this is just a compressed version. I can save this." Nope.
Yeah. But I mean, we have the scripts.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but yeah, yeah. We do need to get a burner, then we can recover those. But
I mean, as long as DVD players are a thing, we're good.
dude, Blu-ray DVD
Well, no,
players aren't
as
going
long as Blu-ray players that accept DVDs are a thing.
They're not going anywhere. I think Blu-rays and DVDs are going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
At least another decade or two. At least a decade. I think right now it's still just broadband isn't everywhere. And until broadband gets everywhere, there will always be DVDs and Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Which is the new Xbox, they thought about not putting a Blu-ray player in it, and the Xbox has a the PS5, sorry. The Xbox has it. The PS5 has a version without a Blu-ray player in it. Because their whole thing was just download it. But they only give you half a terabyte, and it's like, what? I'll never understand where PlayStation was like. That's the whole thing about the PlayStation, about computers, is that storage is the most expensive part. It really, especially when we nickel and dime these gaming consoles. When you nickel and dime them down, the most expensive part is storage. It's ridiculous, especially if you want SSDs currently. And so they put a half a terabyte, maybe a terabyte in there, but that's like a third of the freaking cost of the machine. And
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like a third.
So your computer that you built, what percentage is your storage?
Oh, it's
of
nothing.
Cost.
It's $200. I have maybe $200 of storage in this thing.
What was the most expensive thing? The motherboard, the graphics card?
Either the GPU or the CPU. I'm pretty sure it was the GPU. And the GPU would have been way more, but I got it on a good deal.
Oh.
Because at the time, They
Bitcoin
just
mining.
announced the 3000 series graphics cards. So 2000, this is before the pandemic. So 2000 series graphics cards became super
Yep.
cheap. And so I got a
see.
used 2080 Ti, which is like top of the line, used, but it, works great. It was a used 2080 Ti. It was in great condition for $500. The month later, I could have sold the thing for like over $1,000. Like 2 months later, I could have sold the thing for over $1,000
Really?
because everybody sold all their 20 series cards to buy the 30 series, but then COVID happened, scalpers happened, supply chain issues happened, and so then you couldn't get 30 series cards. You can now, but inflation's everything's still expensive, but you couldn't get them. And so then your 20 series cards became valuable because you couldn't get those either. You couldn't get anything. And so my 20 series card, I honest to God, I probably should have sold it, just accepted the fact that I wouldn't. If I had like some junk.
Yeah, what you do is you sell it, and then, because you still had a laptop.
But, what I should, if I had a junker GPU, like a 1060 or something, that I could have.
Did you have a junker?
I did not have a clunker GPU. But I'd had a clunker GPU, I would have thrown that into the machine, sold the graphics card, and then I could have a freaking 3080 Ti for like a fraction of the price. Because I would have had, extra $1,000 kicking around with 2080. But, it took 2 years for the prices to come back down. So, like, no. I'm glad I've got what I've got. Not that, but also, I don't even know a 3080 would even fit in here. Second, my power supply probably couldn't handle it. And that makes me nervous because I was kind of maybe the 4000 I'll be able to get it because, they'll be more efficient or whatever. No, they're supposed to be even more power hungry. And I'm like, great. Just wonderful. Thank you, NVIDIA.
You're going to attach like a little bike so you can like power your own computer.
Well, anyways, good God, I had other things to talk about, and now we're 40 minutes in. But see, that's the beauty of the new podcast. We could keep talking about these computer things forever, and that was good. That was solid conversation. That was good. I just want a few other things I want to say. Then we'll end the podcast. We're making these shorter. I know some people like the long ones, but some people like the shorter ones. So I get to work today. We're talking about.
Let's hear the story.
So I get to work today. I'm feeling fine. It's a Monday. I'm tired, but whatever. About 30 minutes into work, I start coughing. Like really bad. And I'm like, this isn't good. And I swear I could see her eyeballing me, my manager, just like.
Did you get a drink of water?
Yeah, but that wasn't helping. I was hacking up mucus and stuff.
Oh.
And it was loud, and I was doing a lot. And about 10:20 rolls around. It's about 10 o'clock rolls around. My manager goes in and talks with the full-timer. They talk in there for 15 minutes. She comes out. She walks up to me. She looks at me. She's like 6 feet away still. And she's like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "I hope not. I was just sick. I don't think so. I'm just having a coughing fit." Well, she's like, "Well, I want you to go home because I don't, if you're sick, I don't want you getting me sick," because she couldn't get sick. And she's like, "I don't want you getting everyone else sick." And I'm like, I just had COVID. There's no way I have something else. I mean, it's possible that COVID weakened my immune system, but there's no way. Well, so
She went home.
So she sent me home. The funniest part is the full timer. He was having stomach issues because he'd eaten some. I think he'd eaten like a bunch of like unhealthy food the night before, and it just didn't sit with his stomach, and so he was not feeling well, and he wanted to use his half day today. Oh no! Instead, I get sent home, and the funniest part is I coughed twice. After that, it was only because I was recording the Kepler's Law video, and I wasn't drinking any water, and I was
Oh
exerting
yeah, you
myself.
finally finished that?
Yeah, it's done. That's actually that's what's in the background here. I don't know if you can tell.
Did it come out good?
It's all right. Yeah. There are parts of the script that you just kind of read. You just kind of say the words. You don't really think about what you're saying because it's kind of complicated and kind of because it's not something I would have written, and so I'm just mindlessly reading the script. Or there were some parts where it's like I know the wording is very specific, but it's very hard to say. And you write them like essays, so like some of the sentences just keep going on and on. They're like 3 lines long, and there's no commas, and you're just like at the very end, just like.
Yeah, I have a bad habit with
So
run-on sentences.
I got in trouble for run-on sentences, but you are the king, my friend. You are the king of run-on sentences. There was this one. I don't even remember what it was, but it just kept going. I'm just like,
so I had to clear my throat. So it's not as bad as in English class. Jeez. It's not as bad as when I was in English class, because when I was in English class, I would just be writing, and I'd always be running out of things to say, and so I'd be always reading over my work as I go. And whereas with this, it's like there's so much to say that I just be writing and writing and writing and writing and not even realize that, oh wait, I haven't put a period yet.
well,
Because there's so much I wanted to say.
well, so I had set myself a goal of 6 videos Saturday. I started 5 of the 6.
Mhm.
I now have finished the 6th video today, thanks to my more than a half day. So I have accomplished my entire goal for Saturday, and I am 1 or 2 clips away, 2 clips away from finishing the thermite video. All I gotta do is do the copper thermite and then the conclusion. So
how much math did you end up showing at the end?
So it took me like an hour because I was looking at it, and the problems are kind of done incompletely, and it's all like I had to like backtrack and figure out how you got some of the numbers. And I'm like, is this?
Because
I'm
what
like,
was happening was what?
I was like, is this big G? Is this the mass of the Earth? Is that what these things are? And so I had to go back and redo it.
I wanted to have everything on one page. I don't know why. I was like, oh, I can get this on one page. Let me try. And that's what it ended up happening. And so I basically cut out a lot of work. Because I was like, well, I'll just write one number to represent all the numbers. And then I'll write the formula. And so I didn't even bother showing what it looked like with all the numbers subbed in. I just said, here's the equation. Here are the numbers to plug in. Here's the final answer.
Yeah, and so I had to kind of like reconstruct everything. And
did you figure it out okay? Or?
I did figure it out. I was kind of frustrated. I'm like, Phil, what did you do? I can't figure this out. But
I told you to contact me if you needed help.
Well, you were at work.
What time was it? Oh,
This is like 1
what
in the
time did you?
afternoon. What am I supposed to do?
What?
This is like 2 in the afternoon. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, yeah, I guess I was at work at 2.
So I was like, well, I just gotta brute force this and figure it out. So I'm like grabbing numbers over here and plugging them in and solving it. And there was just like the radius, you just had these 2 numbers. I'm like, what the hell are these 2 numbers? Everything's in scientific notation. And calculators don't
obviously.
like... Well, I know, but like calculators don't like scientific notation when you plug it in.
Yeah, they do. They use the E.
Okay, I guess... I don't know. Well, anyways, the Casio... I don't know. Point is, it doesn't like scientific notation.
Oh, the 2 numbers. Are you talking about the ISS orbit?
Yes.
Yeah, because I have the radius, and then the second number is the height.
I was just like, the amount of stuff you wrote out, I'm like, you could have just written it in full form and it'd been fine. I was like, to the 6th power, and you had 3 decimals. I'm like, you realize 3 more zeros and you've been done? I was just like, what is the point? It was less space.
Well, the thing is, I've started to develop a thing against using commas for big numbers. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like using commas for big numbers. So if I don't use scientific notation, sometimes I'll just leave gaps between the numbers. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I hate
I think
scientific
that part of my
I
issue
mean,
with commas. Part of my issue
with
with commas is when you go to type it on a computer, I don't want it to separate the number. You know, that's one thing. Because, you know, if the number's at the end of a sentence, I don't want it to, like, split half the number. I also don't want it to just take the number, move it to the next line, and leave an awkward gap at the end. It doesn't look right. And, usually when you have numbers in a scientific paper, usually you have, like, it has its own line. But the other thing about commas is that, in other languages, I mean, obviously in America, everyone knows what you're talking about when you use a comma. But, like, in Spain, a comma is a decimal point.
Yeah, I know.
They use periods. And for me, I love consistency. I want consistency. So I don't want to be using a comma if it means a decimal to someone else. I love consistency.
Can somebody explain to me why over there they use periods? Like, maybe it's my...
I don't know. I honestly should look that. I really don't know the answer. I should look that up.
The comma, at least in my opinion, is better suited. Because a decimal point makes sense to separate, you know, the period makes sense to separate between decimals and whole numbers. It just makes more sense than a comma.
Why?
Because like a comma, like
I think it's a bias you have.
In a sentence, a comma is just a pause or a break, or use it to separate a list of things, and then a period starts a new sentence. In a number, a period starting the decimals. It starts something new, something different. Commas are just there to break it up to make it easier to read. But periods instead of commas, maybe it is definitely a bias, but it just doesn't. It doesn't feel right. It feels like you're just breaking the number up, and when you'd rather it's the whole number. You're just adding a something so you could tell what the hell you're looking at. I mean, you could just do a line.
Oh yeah, so actually this says there is a standard, and actually I've been using the standard. The standard is to use a decimal point to separate a decimal, and spaces. Use spaces to separate the thousands.
See, that makes sense in typing. I could see that, which is fine. I have no problems with spaces, personally.
Here's Wikipedia. What does Wikipedia say?
Personally, spaces, that's fine. I'm fine with spaces. Because writing it out, you have to use commas. There's no way around it. But when you're writing, but on the computer, spaces, that's fine. I can get behind that. I can do that. I never wrote big numbers for any of my stuff, and if I did, you round everything. So if something was like 2 million joules of energy, or like it was 2,318,000 or whatever joules of energy, you just write 2.8 million joules of energy, or whatever the heck.
Honestly, what I should have done is there's another way to cheat scientific notation. So, like, let's say you had take the mass of the Earth, right? Oh no. Let's do something smaller. Just say
the population of the human race.
So at work, say I'm measuring resistance, right? And say I get something that comes out to 200,000 ohms.
Holy
Right.
shoot! What are we? Oh my
What?
god! 2,000
So it's
ohms of
open. It's open.
resistance.
So if you're measuring the resistance of something that's open, so it's not a complete circuit. It'll read a super large number.
I guess I'm used to milliohms.
Yeah, but that means it's closed.
Oh, okay.
That means it's short circuited.
Oh, okay. I see.
That
I didn't
means-
know
that means
this.
that-
These are things I'm learning here. Okay. So,
But if something's open, you're going to read a huge number. You may even get. But what I'm saying is the way you can cheat scientific notation is that 200,000 ohms is equivalent to
2 mega ohms.
no
No,
200 kilo ohms
200 kilo ohms. Yes, because mega would
Yeah.
be one more.
would be 200,000 2 million ohms.
Yeah, like I said, one more place.
Yeah. So 200,000 kilo ohms. But what I'm saying is that the way you can cheat scientific notation is instead of writing 2 times 10 to the 5, you could write 200 k ohm. K and then the ohm symbol.
Yeah.
And so
Thank you, metric system.
that's basically what I do at work.
Kilomiles.
I don't even use scientific notation because I just write the symbol, the SI unit symbol for whatever it is.
There
So
you go.
if
You
it-
start just making.
If it's giga ohms, you write a G. If it's mega ohms, you write an actually.
Could you imagine?
My manager doesn't like it. My manager doesn't like it when we write giga ohms because it gets confusing with mega ohms. Usually, what we write is we write 50 plus mega ohms because that's
What
the
the
limit.
hell has giga ohms?
Well,
Billions.
no. So the confusion is that if something needs to be overhauled, like it needs to be cleaned better, we measure the case leakage, the cell leakage, and the borderline for that is 2 mega ohms, right? So if something is less than 2 mega ohms, you need to clean this up or whatever. If it's more than that, you're good. But if you take an ohm reading, right, and it comes out to say 1.8 giga ohms, if someone writes 1.8 giga ohms, he gets confused because sometimes he'll look at that and be like, do we need to clean this? And he'll write, oh wait, that's a G, not an M,
so
right?
he just can't.
And so it just makes more sense to just write 50 plus mega ohms because the other meter we use, the other meter only goes up to 50.
So
It can't go higher than 50.
can we?
So
Can we start?
we just write 50 plus because it is technically 50 plus. But
Can we
It's-
start doing that for miles? Giga miles?
giga miles.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with miles is that miles is American, and we don't really.
Well,
have-
yeah. Everybody uses but can I start just saying, oh yeah, it's about 1 gigamile? Like what? It's about 1 billion miles, right?
Yeah.
Giga's a billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 1 billion miles away. It's about 1 gigamile.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Just
know.
start using the metric system, but with miles or feet. Just- oh my god, that'd be fantastic. You certainly could. You're gonna it's not a real measurement, but you know what it is. You're just like 1 gigamile. That's 1 billion miles. It's the same as saying 1 billion miles. It's the same exact thing. That's really all you're doing in the
Well,
metric system. You're
kinda,
not making
I
new
suppose.
units. You're just figuring out how to condense units down. It's all grams. It's 1 gigagram. I don't know what's 1 billion grams worth and why you're measuring in gigagrams.
I still think hella should be a thing because it'd be so much easier to because do you know what the mass of the Earth is? 6 heligrams.
I was gonna say it technically
It's
is
6
behind me. I just have to
It's
solve it.
6 times 10 to the 24 kilograms, right?
Yeah.
6 times 10 to the 24 kilograms. So we only have a number that goes up to 10 to the 24. I think that's yada. If I remember right. I think it's Yada. Yada.
Well, I just
So,
keep making
but the
crap
thing
up.
is, we
Go
don't
ahead,
have
Google.
one next higher. So we need 10 to the 27 because then you could just state the mass of the Earth as 6 holograms. Now, but you can't stop that. I feel like we should still go to 10 to the 30 because otherwise you have the mass of the sun, which is 2,000 holograms. Actually, no, that still sounds pretty cool.
Well, no, you could
2,000
just do soul.
holograms.
Well, no, then you just do souls. Just do
No,
suns.
no, 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 because it makes it easier to compare. Mass of the Earth, 6 holograms. Mass of the Sun, 2,000 holograms.
Well, why not just do? Well, I mean, they measure everything in masses of Earths and masses of suns, anyways. So the sun becomes a unit of measurement, which is funny because there are black holes that are 1 giga sun, 1 billion suns.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fact that we can go all the way up to giga, and it's a good sized supermassive black hole.
Yeah.
Like what are these? What are these numbers? Well, anyways, yeah.
Oh,
No.
there was what did I see the other day? Oh, I watched this video that compared billionaires' wealth in terms of $1 million representing $100 bill. And it was actually pretty cool because it compared everything to it basically compared everything to $100 to $1 million becoming $100 bill. So it made it easier to picture how much $1 trillion was.
It's a lot.
It's a lot because basically, you hold up $100. It's $100 bill is a lot of money, But he said, imagine this $100 bill represents $1 million, right? $1 million could be, life changing for a lot of people.
For anybody.
For like 99% of the population
Yep.
that is not in the 1%,
Yep.
it is life changing. A lot of people. Anyways,
Well, unless you're millions of dollars in debt, which there are Americans who are millions of dollars in debt,
yeah.
and they're not the
But
one,
that's the
and they're
that's the
not the
bottom-
1% because it's just
That's
credit
the bottom
card debt.
1%.
Huh?
Okay, that's the bottom 1%. Okay.
They're the 1% of they're the bottom 1%.
They're the 0.1% of the bottom 1%.
People look up the average amount of debt in America. Every person's, the average American's in debt like $100,000 or something. This is the person that makes it that $100,000 that makes it the average. Most people probably are like $10,000-$20,000 in debt. No, it's this person who's in debt millions of dollars because they just credit cards, houses. They lost it all.
Homeless.
Huh?
How can you be that in debt and not be homeless? Because at a certain point, would the bank take your home?
I'm not saying they're not homeless. They just have credit cards that they just didn't pay back, and they just
I'm kind of curious how you can be that far in debt and not be homeless. I mean, at some does the bank just not care?
Oh no, the bank. It's the credit card companies.
Yeah, but I guess So when you have a credit card, what is your collateral?
There is none.
There is none.
So the credit cards are funky, right? To get the fact.
But don't people take out? Do people take out a loan? Do people take out a loan from the bank to pay for their credit card debt?
Yes. Usually they have something.
So then, when they take out a credit card loan, they put their house as collateral, right?
If they have a house, it's. I don't know. Personal loans are weird. Some personal loans don't have collateral at all.
Well, yeah, take student loans.
And so in exchange,
student loans, like how do people have all these student loans? But if there's no collateral, no one cares. The banks can't take anything from you on your student loans, can they?
Student loans. So student loans.
If someone just decides to never pay them,
well, you can never get a loan.
What are they gonna do?
You can never get a loan again. You can
Yeah,
never
but I
open
mean-
a bank account anywhere.
Oh, that's the offense.
That is the issue. So let's say you have student debt
Mm-hmm.
and you don't pay it back, or a loan of any sorts, and you don't make payments at your bank. The bank will eventually just get rid of your checking and savings account. They'll just write you a cashier's check, send it
Now,
to
is
you.
it possible to find a new bank? Or
No.
will all banks see your records and be like,
Because
nope?
every time we go to look you up, every time we go to, open up you an account, it pulls up anything you have at any other bank that if you're in debt anywhere, you pop up. And as part of my job is for me to say, no, I can't open this. You have to go get this paid back to somebody. Or whoever you owe this money to, you have to go pay them back. And then you can open an account. So that's what happens. Is basically they write you a cashier's check, or hell, they might just take the money out of your account and pay and just try and pay the loan with it, and you don't get squat.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they're gonna write you a cashier's check, a money order, send it to you in the mail, and say goodbye. And then you have to pay them back the loan and anything else, and you won't be able to open an account anywhere until you get that stuff paid back. So that's the issue.
I see.
That's if you have, and then also your credit score will be destroyed. You won't be able to get credit, and if you can, this is why credit cards and these personal loans, they can get away with this. They're extremely high interest rates. That's how they get away with not having to is extremely high interest rates. Now these personal loans, it's still better.
Now, do they take away your credit card if you? Well, yeah. There's a maximum amount that you can build, right?
What? What do you mean?
Is there a max? It's like obviously, those people, they're probably having troubles meeting their payment. Is there a max amount of debt that you can accrue on a credit card before the credit card simply like, what?
Yes.
Nope, we're done.
Yes, credit cards have limits.
They do have a limit.
I don't know what it is. It depends.
Well, no,
on
I
your
know
credit
they
card,
have a
depends on your
monthly
credit.
limit. They have a a credit card. Like I have a credit card. It has a limit on how much I can spend a month because that's how much they trust you per month. But do they have like a limit on how much debt you can accrue before they're like, you're done?
Yep. I mean, of course,
They do.
they'll still accrue interest.
Because I guess I don't know what my limit
want to
is
find out.
for my history. Like how much I can possibly accrue before they're like done.
I don't
You're done.
think you
I don't know.
want
I don't
to
know
find
that.
out.
But I know my monthly limit.
Yeah.
Before they're like, bro, you went way over budget this month. Where you're done. Because that's just how
this
much they
month.
know they
The
can
next
trust
month you can do
you.
it
They're like, you're not going to pay this back.
Well, the thing is, though, but the next month they'll let you do it again and again and again, and it'll all be at 19%.
Yeah, because in the next month they're like, because like because you still get some time into the next month to get more debt, and they're like, yeah, you're still good this month. You can double that if you want.
We'll let you. It'll also
We'll
be
let
at
you.
19% interest. We'll let you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, they gave me an offer for 19 month of 0% APR. But then it's after those 19 months, it goes up to 22.5%.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's a way for you to make big payments. Like, say you want to build a house, right? And so you got
Put it
to
on
be
the
making
plan.
big payments. Well, it's a way to make big payments without having to worry about having to pay it all back at the end of the month. You can pay back at the end of a year and a half before interest starts to accrue.
Put it on plastic. Oh, I'd like to buy this house. Okay, how are you going to pay for it? Plastic. What?
Yeah, you pay for a credit
0%
card,
APR.
and so you can make a whole bunch of big expenses, and then, say your buyer won't have the money at the end of the month, but, by 6 months, saving a little bit here and there, you'll finally have enough to pay it off before, you get hit with the big fine.
So, no, what you do is you buy the house with the credit card, right? And then you that's a whole year you don't have to pay interest. So
Well, I don't think you can use a credit card as a down payment.
No, I'm saying you use it to buy the whole house.
Can you use a credit? Yeah, can I make a down payment with this credit card?
So no, what you do is you buy the whole house with it. You get a whole year of no interest, not from the bank, not from the credit card company.
Yeah.
And then and then at the end of that,
hold up. Let me find a house that'll give me a $500,000 limit.
well, anyways. So what you do is, it's 1.5 years in no APR. So then you have 6 months to shop around for a super low interest rate, and a super low interest rate on a loan, and then you can pay your entire credit card back before you ever accrue any interest, and since you had a whole year of you're not doing any interest, you don't really have to worry about you're not paying interest in those really lows. So who knows? So you could probably get a pretty big, sizable payment, and that's so imagine your 30-year mortgage, Now you were able, so now you had the money you were gonna have for the down payment, plus you have the money now for like a whole year's worth of payments and maybe a little bit extra because you weren't paying interest. So then you could do that as a whole massive down payment.
Yeah, but this whole thing comes back down to having a $500,000 credit card limit.
Well, you got to get Mr. Beast's credit card that has no limit.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
let me get one of them.
Oh, actually, Mr. Beast said it has a limit. Remember in the video? He's like, actually, it has a limit. I just hope nobody reaches it.
Well, yeah, I don't remember what I know there was a guy that was eyeing a diamond ring. Well, I think he said it was like $10 million or something. Yeah, I knew some guy was eyeing a diamond ring that was like $6 million. And because he was like, this is within the budget. Like, he could technically afford this if he wanted. Or maybe it was like $2 million and the ring was like $1.8 million. He was like, yeah, what's the most expensive thing you got? And he could have got it if he wanted. But he decided but if he was wrong, then he moved out and he couldn't get any price. And so I think he opted for something that was like, $200,000.
Right.
Only he had to, $200,000.
Because you could buy whatever, but you had to know how much it was or something at the end?
Well, yeah, it was like you could buy whatever, but if you go over the limit, then you don't get anything.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't know what the limit was.
And I think what the central was like, you got 30 seconds to buy as much as you want.
But did Jimmy, let them just spend whatever, though?
Well, yeah, I think he took them. I think he took a couple people to like a store or something, and then they get to the checkout, and he's like, "No, I just didn't tell you. This credit card does have a limit. Is there anything you want to put back, or do you think everything is within the limit?" And he takes them to like tech stores, like a Best Buy or something.
Right. But he was. But the whole thing was he was never actually going to buy them everything though, regardless. Well, yeah. But he just wanted to see if they would put things back, how conservative they'd be, right?
See, yeah, I could, but no one did. No one actually did go over the limit. But I'm not sure. I bet for the sake of the video, he probably would have said no. But then, after, like behind the scenes, he probably would have gave them something. Because I've seen videos, he said that, the people that lose on his show, they still walk away with something because he wants to make it worthwhile.
Did you watch the Island video?
I did, yeah.
So like the second round. So the first round, we don't know what they got. Second round, they each got like $3,000 or whatever. So what did first round get? A gift card?
Yeah, right.
Just like
he had 100 people.
20 minutes on a hot beach trying to light a fire. So that's 20 minutes of probably the hardest labor some of those people have ever done their entire life.
I can tell you right now, I probably would have taken the $50,000 and walked away.
Yeah. So that one girl, she was just like, not going to pay for 1 year's worth of college. And the funny thing is, we just came up with a new trivia question for the bank. And so our trivia question is... I want to know who
that person was. That person said that paid for like a semester. I'm like, what? That a $50,000?
No. She said it wouldn't pay for 1 year. It wouldn't pay for 1 year. And I know it won't be a whole... it's not a semester. Because
I would pay for 2.5 years. For me.
So we just did a... God, I probably...
I'm looking for the dorms.
Outside the dorms, you could pay for your entire experience with that. At the
What
university.
school costs $50,000 in tuition alone?
So here I'm getting to this. So we have this new trivia question at our bank, and it's asking which these schools has the most expensive tuition. Fun fact: Wesleyan's in the top
Wait,
10.
let me guess. It's not an Ivy League. I bet it's like Stanford.
Stanford is in the top 10. It's in the top 5 or whatever. It is one of the options, but it's not Stanford.
Oh, can you tell me what state? Well, no. Tell me what coast.
Well, it's East Coast. There's
East Coast.
There's only one Ivy League class, like anything close to Ivy League on the West Coast, and that's Stanford.
Oh, yeah.
And Wesleyan. Wesleyan University here in Nebraska. Its tuition, so these are out-of-state tuitions. Its tuition is so damn high. It's in the top 10 in the world.
This school? Is it an Ivy League school?
I don't know. I don't know.
What
I don't know
state?
what it is. It might be. I don't know.
Do you know what state?
Yes.
No, can you tell me what state?
New York.
Ooh, so I got that. It's probably New York City, obviously. Harvard's in Boston, right?
Yes, Harvard is in Boston.
Is Columbia? Is that in New York? Where's Columbia?
Columbia is in New York.
Is it Columbia?
It is Columbia.
It's Columbia. What? Really?
$65,000 a year.
How much?
$65,000.
What?
I think that's their out-of-state tuition. I don't think it's their
Holy moly!
60.
Columbia.
Which is crazy because Marshall technically went to Columbia Law School.
That's insane.
So when that girl said that $50,000 wouldn't pay for 1 year, I was thinking,
Never mind. Yeah, she's going to a
she
school
must
like
be
that.
going to somewhere like Columbia.
Or she's talking about going to a school as well. Did she say tuition?
She said
Or
tuition.
did she say school?
She might have said school, but
Because when she's talking about school, well, then you could tack on, room and board is like double the price,
I doubt
know.
she would be.
including it.
Yeah. I think
No.
most of the people on there are a bit older than just 18, fresh out of high school.
Oh, fair enough.
So they're not going to be paying for dorms. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But when she said that, I was like...
But no, I would have took the check and ran. Because the thing is, only one person can win.
Yeah.
And it's like, as much as I'd like it to be me, I have the shot at just 50 grand. I don't know if I'd really want to throw that away.
I don't know what I'm going to do with 50 grand, though.
Well, that's the thing. 50 grand could make a difference.
It's an
I don't know.
awkward amount.
What?
50 grand's an awkward amount.
Because, see,
It's
50
more than
grand,
enough
50
for a
grand.
car.
Well, no, with 50 grand, obviously I can't quit my job. But
Right.
I could make it. I could go out and start looking for a house.
That is
Because I
true.
can
With
I can up for
50
a down
grand,
payment.
I guess...
I could start getting ready to go out and look for a house with 50 grand.
Actually, 50. So, here, 50 grand is awesome. Because I can do... $40,000 is awesome for a down payment. That's
Yeah,
a $200,000 house. Not that you're going to buy a $200,000 house for your first house. But that's a $200,000 house for 20% down payment.
Yeah, usually they say 20%
That's
is what you should
40%.
aim for.
That's 40 grand. So that's an extra
Yeah.
10 grand laying over that you can either do for repairs for the house,
For furniture.
or someone like me, I can put it towards a
Furniture.
car.
Oh yeah, and then you have another 10 grand for a car. I mean, I already have a car, so the 10 grand would probably be for furniture.
True. I don't need furniture.
You're gonna need furniture. Yeah.
Well, for one thing, furniture. For one thing about furniture is there's always people with furniture.
You like that one episode of The Big Bang Theory? How Leonard moves in with Sheldon, right?
Yeah.
And it's 2 lawn chairs and a TV on the floor.
Yep.
That would be your place. 2 lawn chairs and a TV on the floor. Oh my gosh.
Well, no. Here's the thing, though, right? I've got tons of shelves already. I've got my tables. I've got a couch. I've got a bed. I've got a TV stand. I've got table and chairs. The rest of the house is just going to be kind of empty.
That is true.
Which is fine, because I can always fill it in. And there's always people with furniture that are giving it away.
Well, I guess that is true.
For one thing, I'm not just going to go buy a house and live in it by myself.
I don't know how many houses come with, a fridge and washing machine and all that. Because, sometimes people want to take that with them, and other times, they move to a new house, they want all new appliances, It kind of depends what kind of person you get.
If I move in, the thing is, though, right? A refrigerator, washer, you need a refrigerator, washer and dryer, oven, and I've got a dishwasher. You don't need a dishwasher. You can do it by hand, but a dishwasher.
It makes life so nice, though.
That's about $2,000. All of those together is about $2,000, if that. And that's to say you're spending a lot on that. That's and you're not just buying the cheapest stuff available.
Yeah.
Like washer and dryer, I pay $40 a month for those damn things. Do you realize how nice a freaking washer and dryer over the 2 years paying $40 a month I could have bought? For $40 a month?
I've never gone appliance shopping. I don't know how much stuff costs.
If you're buying base model stuff, which honestly anymore is probably the better way to go because you can repair it easily. It's going to break easier, but you can repair it easier because there's no electronics in it. It's just, a freaking knob.
Yeah.
Like this, like my dryer and washer and dryer, they're brand new. They're brand new, models. But there's no technology in it. They're just literally just the basic knob stuff. So you can still buy that crap. And honest to
but
God,
it's crazy to think about it. As soon as you have that house, that money's gone. I mean, granted, you have, say $5,000, maybe $6,000 left after, you get some furniture. But, it's like that money is gone quick.
I got a house.
That's true. But it's just like, it's crazy to think about how quickly that money goes.
Well, yeah, but I got a house now. I am 20 steps ahead. Hell, the generation ahead of me. I'm ahead of the generation ahead of me if I have a house.
No, but think about it this way. You could spend $50,000 and have like 3/4 of an RV paid for.
Half. Okay. We're dragging on. We're dragging on the podcast. We're an hour and a half, and I could talk about the RV for a long time. I had a new idea about it. That I think we could do it for dirt cheap.
Should we end the podcast and then continue talking about it?
Yes. Well, anyways, I thought we'd try and aim for an hour. It's an hour and a half. But, that's what happens. That first segment was awesome. We had such a great conversation about computers. So, anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And good night.